From the beginning of time, man has always had a pursuit of the best quality of life possible. That quality of life is not possible without resources. The form of resources we have accumulated has changed over time from cowrie shells, state-controlled money, precious metals, real estate, and stocks and bonds. Over the past 100 years, the world has been dominated by the US dollar and its reserves. But everything that has a beginning also has an end. A new financial revolution is upon us with the emergence of a digital economy. The way we earn, spend, and accumulate resources is fundamentally changing. A new asset has appeared that the wealthy have overlooked. Bitcoin has become the best performing asset of the past decade by far. With only 21 million ever in existence, there are more millionaires and billionaires in the world today than there are Bitcoin. Just by holding 0.25 Bitcoin today will put you in the top 1% asset holders in the world in the next 5 to 10 years. If you had invested $100,000 in Bitcoin in 2013, today it will be worth more than $15 million. Bitcoin billionaire Raoul Pal says, Bitcoin's performance is so dominant and so all-encompassing that it is going to suck in every single asset narrative dry and spit it out. Never before in my career have I seen a trade so dominant that holding any other assets makes almost no sense. This is not an industry you can afford to ignore. If you want to remain in business, then you must adapt. Are you offering services in Bitcoin? Are you accepting payments with digital currencies? Have you adopted blockchain technology? Blockbuster Video at one point was the most dominant video service in the world. They had the opportunity to be part of Netflix, but they ignored the changing technology. Where is Blockbuster today? Where will you be tomorrow?
Is it true that you're building out a cryptocurrency capability?
No. I mean, we're looking at it. We're looking at blockchain technologies, and we're looking at all the crypto.
Blockchain isn't crypto. Blockchain is just the underlying technology. Well, don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No. I don't believe any client has sought out crypto exposure.
Really?
Yes.
But at some point they might. Do you need to be prepared?
I don't, at the moment, no. I have not heard from any one client they're looking to buy a cryptocurrency at this time. But right now, I can tell you it worldwide, I have not heard from one client who said, I need to be in this.
BlackRock, the most powerful asset manager in the world with a $10 trillion portfolio, is investing in cryptocurrency.
This is not going to be an easy task. Capital is moving, and it's going to move very rapidly.
I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement.
Do not be fooled. Don't let Larry Fink's friends go on TV and convince you not to buy this time around. While Hillary and friends continue to sow fear, uncertainty, and doubt about crypto into the minds of the general public, BlackRock has been forced to disclose that they're into it.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. I mean, the transformation, think about it, instantaneous settlement,
Right.
bonds and stock, no middlemen. We're going to bring down fees even more dramatically. As for me, I don't have to vote on any shares anymore because the beneficial owner will do all the voting.
And by the way, this isn't the first time he's said this. Larry Fink has been getting more and more vocal on this.
This is one of the reasons why I'm focused on the whole idea of blockchain for securities. I look forward to the day when we could tokenize stocks and bonds, that every stock and every bond we could identify immediately who is the beneficial owner. And this is why we're working on it. And every beneficial owner, from an individual to an institution, have the ability to vote, to democratize every single vote. And that's where we want to take this, and we're leading that effort.
Oh, I actually believe most of the companies are not going to be around. I still believe that. I do believe
Because they're now real, they're frauds, they're what?
Well, I mean, think about FTX. I mean, you could look back now. FTX created it. Its failure was it's creating its own token. It was not a DeFi. It wasn't a ledger that was open to the world. It was a closed ledger.
Right.
It was not distributed. So the whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be a distributed ledger that is across the system.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our early morning crypto talk from Los Angeles, California. Bitcoin Brandon. Go ahead and type your name in the chat box. I'm the founder and CEO of Ivy League Crypto Academy. This is Saturday. You guys have been waiting for Saturday all week. Now, this is also the last Saturday in October as we are starting to move into November. We only have 2 more months left in the year of 2023. We just finished our 5-day challenge. There's only one more left for this year. November's 5-day challenge will be the last one for 2023, as I'll be getting ready for 2024. So I see we have on the line so far Mr. Albert from Connecticut, Kenny Taylor from Los Angeles, Joyce Easley, Martha Cameron from Mexico, Adele and Colin from Trinidad, Carla from St. Louis, Missouri, Marnita Casa from Colorado, Stan Thompson from Elon, North Carolina, Linda Wright from Virginia, Leonard Long. Everyone, knowledge is power. I love it. That is right. Nathan Hansberger, Janelle Appling from Colorado, Steve Randall from Memphis. Yeah, like Stan says, watch what they don't listen to what they say, but watch what they do. There you go. Diane from California, Sonia Barnes from Plantation, Florida, Jamal from Pasadena. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And we are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So I hope you guys had a good, productive week. There was a lot happening this week. We still got the war in Ukraine. We've got the war in the Middle East. They found the shooter's body in Maine. We had rumors of spot Bitcoin ETFs. We've got Bitcoin going to $34,000 a coin, or 33. Did it hit 34? Maybe hit 34. Let's see, what other news? We now have the Speaker of the House, which will not matter because we will be having a government shutdown. I'm a betting man on that, and I'm betting that we will have the government shutdown. Brandon, how do you know? How do you figure there's a Speaker of the House now? Why is he Speaker of the House now? The last one got fired because he voted and compromised with the Democrats to avoid a government shutdown. So you think this new one is going to do the same thing? There will be a government shutdown. Melvin Robinson from Long Island, New York. Welcome, welcome. TJ from Pittsburgh. Oh, you like the sweatshirt? I gotta represent because this is actually my 25-year reunion for Morehouse College. I graduated class in '98, and this is our homecoming. So I'm not there physically, but I gotta represent some kind of way. I got my Morehouse thing there. I got my, I should probably put on. I gotta put on the hat too. Yeah. Dear old Morehouse. Oh, I said old, and I'm looking at myself. I don't look the same way I did when I was originally on the yard. But that's all right. 25 years. All right, all right. So let's jump on into, oh yeah, first business is we got to hit that pie button. And let me do that on my other phone. Those of you that's mining pie, all you got to do is open the app and hit a button, and you're done. There we go. Now it's simple. And I have a new phone coming in for business and testing purposes only. I got a brand new iPhone 15 Pro Max, and that hasn't arrived yet, but I got some protective cases for it. I'm going to try out both of them, see which one I like the best with it. That will put me at having 3 phones, but it's just for testing purposes. I am not Team Apple. I am Team Android. Always will be. All right. So let's jump into this so that I can get you guys on with the rest of your Saturday. And let me share screen. Oh, I can do it like this. Window. There we go. All right, so let's see what's happening. Crypto market today. Slightly down 0.1%, almost flat line in the last 24 hours, but this is Saturday. So we got to go week to week. Or look over the last 7 days. So the last 7 days, while Bitcoin is at 34,000, okay? Last 7 days, Bitcoin is up 14.1%. Ethereum is up 10.2. BNB 5.7. Ripple 4%. Solana 9.6. Cardano 12.6. Doge 12.7. Tron 3.7. Toncoin is down 4.1. Chainlink is up 28.4%. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at that. Is that on the list? Yeah, it is. Some of you guys know, if you're in the inner circle, we created a list last week. Tokens you might want to put down going into 2024. Matic up 9%. Polkadot 8, Litecoin 4.3, Shiba Inu 9, Avalanche 11.8. All right, let's look at the best performers of the week. Pepe, the Bitcoin ordinal token, up 69% on the week, 69.9. Mina Protocol, why does that sound like a Prince song? Mina Protocol 54.6. It had a big spike, then came down middle of the week. Injective 48.4. Conflux 47. Thorchain 43. Gala. Did it hit 2 cents? Might have gotten close. 34.8. Neo 32.6. Chainlink 28. Woo Network. Woo. This one is new to me. Who is this? Up 7%, 22 cents. Max supply, 2.2 billion tokens. All-time low 3 years ago. So this is not a new coin. It's just new to me. It was at 2 cents 3 years ago. All-time high was 2 years ago. Also, well, 3 years, a year later at $1.78. Right now is at 22 cents. If this is legit, this is a good profit range here, especially at a 22-cent price. Where is this being sold? Bitunix. I've never heard of this one. BitChunix exchange. Okay. It's a centralized exchange where this is their trading pairs. There they got that Woo network. Now I saw Steppen in there. Solana. Year established, not available. Incorporation country code, not available. Trust score is only a 3. That's not even high enough for me to even click to look at the website. Reserves data unavailable. Nah, don't mess around with them. But Binance has it. Qcoin. So these are all the international exchanges. Wait, Woo has its own exchange. It's on Uniswap version 2 though, not version 3. Yeah, there it is. Woo version 3. Crypto.com has this coin. So Woo X, trust score is an 8. Centralized crypto established in 2019, registered in Seychelles. Where is that? Is that Europe? Seychelles. Currently, there are 81 coins and 84 trading pairs. Woo X, so if they've got their own exchange, this is the liquidity coin for their exchange. Okay. But I don't know where Seychelles is. So I think it's like I'm letting it say Eastern Europe, but I might be wrong. All right. So who else? Rocket Pool, 24.8. The Graph, 24.6. ApeCoin, 22.4. Render, 22. Quant, 21. So the entire crypto had a very good week. The entire market. In my opinion, this is not a crypto bull run. One of my key figures for that is the fact that Bitcoin dominance is at more than 50%. When you see a crypto bull run, this needs to be around in the 30% range, Bitcoin dominance, because now the other altcoins are running with it. So Bitcoin halving is coming up. ILCA is going to be all about preparing for that next year. Let's take a look at some of the news. Media reported Hamas got millions via crypto, but the data provider they cited says it was misconstrued. So we got Elizabeth Warren and others out there saying we gotta clamp down on crypto because terrorists are using it. Do we gotta clamp down on the U.S. dollar because terrorists use that as well? The funding revelation caused an uproar in Washington, but there's no evidence for anything beyond tiny amounts of digital assets landing in terrorist hands. The data firm Elliptic now says. After Hamas' deadly attacks in Israel, media reports linked the terrorist group with tens of millions in crypto donations, but that data was misinterpreted and hugely exaggerated, according to the blockchain analytical firm that was cited. In response, a Wall Street Journal reporter has suggested the data company Elliptic told a different story in July. Ian Talley, the journalist, was one of the authors of the October 10th journal piece that noted more than $90 million in crypto went to terrorist groups, attributing the claim to Elliptic data. In a blog post this week, Elliptic said that while Hamas has begun to experiment with digital asset fundraising, the amounts raised remain tiny compared to other funding sources. Elliptic said the company has been in contact with the newspaper to clarify this point. The newspaper didn't immediately respond to CoinDesk's request for comment, but Talley took to X on Wednesday in an attempt to contrast Elliptic's current statements with its post in July that the newspaper relied on. There is no evidence to support the assertion that Hamas has received significant volumes of crypto donations. But you don't understand. This is America we're talking about. Evidence, whatever. Who needs evidence? I can easily say there is no evidence to support the claim that the 2020 election was stolen. So, what evidence? I don't care. American politicians don't care. They'll make up whatever they want. There is no evidence to suggest that crypto fundraising has raised anything close to this amount. So, even though this is true, do you think that's going to stop Democrat Elizabeth Warren and those that don't like crypto? They're going to continue to say this anyway. Terrorists and Hamas is using crypto. Ma'am, there is no evidence of that. I don't care what you say. The evidence is there. All you have to do is do your own research. America. The reporter highlighted portions of the July post that said cited Israeli seizures of crypto wallets worth $94 million linked to Palestinian Islamic Jihad, which coordinates with Hamas. Allegations of a crypto Hamas storyline sparked a major response from more than 100 U.S. law. Oh, there we go. See, Elizabeth Warren, who leaned into the reports to further justify her legislative push. Now that she's been proven wrong, do you think she's going to say, yeah, I was wrong about that one report, but I still think that this is happening? No, she's not going to say that. The more recent post from Elliptic suggests the terrorism funding problem may be far less pointed, as I've been saying from the beginning. The most prominent public crypto fundraising campaign has been operated by Gaza Now, a pro-Hamas news organization, according to Elliptic. However, only $21,000 in crypto has been donated since October 7th. You've got to be freaking kidding me. All of this fuss over $21,000. That's like 21 cents to them. $21,000 in crypto, and 100 U.S. lawmakers are, clutching their pearls. Meanwhile, Elliptic noted that the other side of the ledger, charitable giving to support the victims of violence there, has received much more than that. Also this week, the Blockchain Innovation Project, led by two former members of Congress, David McIntosh, an Indian Republican, and Tim Ryan, an Ohio Democrat, sent a letter to Senator Warren and others to counter the lawmakers' recent claims. Warren's office didn't respond to a request for comment on the confusion. The crypto connection to terrorism in that region is present to some degree. Wait. See that? Warren's office didn't respond. Of course not. Because it doesn't fit her narrative. The crypto connection to terrorism in that region is present to some degree. However, noted by the U.S. Department of Treasury when it targeted Hamas supporting crypto wallets, and at least one business that handled Bitcoin transactions. As Elliptic noted in its blog post, Hamas said it stopped fundraising in crypto in April, with the group noting that blockchains are a danger because they expose supporters to the authorities. That is true. It's criminally stupid to use crypto, because it's like I haven't used this analogy in a long time. Picture this analogy. How many of you saw the Home Alone movie, Home Alone 1? When did that come out? Was it the early 90s, late 80s? Home Alone 1. I remember seeing it in the movie theater with all of my little friends, and we laughed our asses off on that movie. I couldn't. I mean, that as a kid, that was the funniest thing I seen. But at the end, the burglars, one of them, the dumb one, would always turn the water on and let it flood in the home's basements. Now, I couldn't relate to that because I was in California. We didn't have basements, but the East Coast, y'all got them. And they flooded it, and his partner was like, will you stop doing that? And when the police caught up with them, the officer said at the end, says, thank you. We now know every single house you hit because you left a trail. In crypto, every transaction is public. So if you're caught and they get your wallet address, they know every transaction you've been making. That's not very smart for a criminal. Just common sense here. But since when do politicians utilize common sense? Wall Street Journal corrects article. I think this means misstating, but it's misciting. Is that even a word? Misciting. Hamas crypto terrorism funding. I mean, it's a word. I'm learned a new word today. Elliptic, the firm which the Wall Street Journal sourced the data from, said it was pleased to see the news outlet acknowledge its mistakes. Okay. Now hold the politicians who used your article to account. The Wall Street Journal has partially corrected an article that mischaracterized the extent to which Hamas and other militant groups have been funding its terrorist activities with crypto. I didn't need them to correct it. I said it the moment it came out. You guys recovered it. I said, this is not true. This is false. This is where education is key. Education allows you to think critically. You don't just read something to read something and accept whatever you're being told. You're able to criticize it. And it's okay to be critical. Especially be critical of the things you believe. That's the toughest thing to do. Can you be critical of what you are taught, of what you are programmed, of what you were raised? Can you be critical of that, or do you just accept everything as blind faith, period? Because mama taught me that, and that's just how it is. In the Cited report, Elliptic said Israel's counterterrorism unit seized PIG-linked wallets, so that's Palestinian wallets, which received $93 million over that time frame. However, Elliptic clarified that this did not mean PIG raised these funds to finance its terrorism activities. I mean, facts do matter. It's the little things. I mean, the fact that, let's use Iran for an example. This is a fact, not a political opinion. That $2 billion, which was Iran's money to begin with, that one political party is saying that Biden gave Iran this $2 billion, and Iran used that $2 billion to fund terrorist activities and funnel that money into Hamas, which attacked Israel and massacred 200 people at a concert and 1,400 Israelis in the villages. So they're connecting Biden giving them $2 billion to terrorists attacking Israelis. Therefore, Biden funded terrorist activity. But that's not the fact. Iran does not have possession of the $2 billion. It's like a credit fund. If they want to buy food and medical things for their people, they use the credit from that money. It can't be used for something else. It's like when the state of California, and I'm afraid they're going to do this one day, they send out a little debit card like this. And there's another COVID thing that hits, and they give you money on the card, but they will have the ability to dictate where you spend that money. This is not a political opinion, it is fact. But do you think the political party that's using that for political attack points cares? No, they keep repeating it anyway. If you repeat a lie long enough, then you believe that lie to be true. That's just say it enough times. It's true. The Wall Street Journal's correction stated PIG and Lebanese political party Hezbollah may have exchanged up to $12 million in cryptocurrency, far less than its initial $93 million figure. Palestinian Islamic Jihad and Hezbollah may have exchanged up to $12 million in crypto since 2021. An earlier version of this article incorrectly said that PIG has sent more than $12 million in crypto to Hezbollah. All right. We know the rest of that. Bitcoin beats the S&P 500 in October. What? As 40K Bitcoin price predictions flow in. Now, I've been saying this from the beginning. Bitcoin is the best performing asset of the past decade. And here we're seeing proof of it again. You want to know where the first proof was? Anybody heard of Peter Schiff? He hates Bitcoin and he loves gold. Listen to what Peter Schiff had to say.
If I'm gonna put my wealth, I'm gonna take $10,000 and store them in Bitcoms. How do I know that a year or two from now anybody is going to accept them for anything? What if it's a fad and nobody wants them? See, the thing with gold is gold has value all by itself. If I don't have to be able to spend it. I can melt it down. I can make it into jewelry. I can use it in electronics. It has all sorts of properties that make gold intrinsically value all by itself, right? It doesn't have to be traded for another product. It can be used.
So if you had put $10,000 in gold in 2010, by 2019, that's worth $9,000. You have put the same $10,000 in Bitcoin in 2010. By 2019, it was worth $4 million. If I keep stretching that out to today, that's worth more. $10,000 in Bitcoin in 2010 to today's money, that's about $25 million. Yet, Bitcoin's nothing. I'm still binge watching Billions. Season 4 and season 5, they talk a lot about crypto. And an argument was made. I don't know if it was the students at Yale that said Bitcoin isn't backed by anything. And it was an interesting debate that they had. The show is actually doing crypto justice. A lot of it is the focus on using the blockchain technology to institute voting on mobile phones, giving every single American the ability to vote using the blockchain, and it verifies their ID, so you don't have illegal voting going on, you don't have dead people voting, you don't have a dog voting, you don't have one person voting 2 or 3 times. And the politicians don't want it because they like it, the system the way it is. It's used for their benefits. If you ever get a chance, you want to binge watch that show on Paramount, Billions. So Bitcoin beats the S&P 500. Bitcoin has plenty of fuel to get it to $40,000. And analysis argues as Bitcoin price stares down the weekly and monthly candle close. Bitcoin surfed 34,000 at the October 27 Wall Street Open as attention turned to Bitcoin price performance against macro assets. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView showed BTC USD holding steady, preserving its early week gains. The largest crypto avoided significant volatility as the weekly and monthly closes. A key moment for the October uptrend drew ever nearer. I think Bitcoin will hang around this range for some time. Popular trader Dan Crypto Trades told X subscribers in one of several posts on October 27th. Roughly 33 to 35K is what I'm looking at as a range. Eyes on potential sweeps of any of these levels for a quick trade. Dan nonetheless noted that open interest had recovered near levels last seen before the sudden uptick, which sent Bitcoin to 17-month highs. As Cointelegraph reported, open interest highs had formed a feature of Bitcoin price squeezes during prior weeks. Elsewhere, on-chain monitoring resource material indicators flagged a downside signal on one of its proprietary trading instruments. With two such daily signals in place, material indicators said that only a move to 34,850 would invalidate the bearish implication. That doesn't mean we can't go there before the monthly candle close, it reasoned in part of its commentary. Okay, my only problem again with this is they're just reading the chart, and at this day and age, this isn't going to hold water, because the only reason why the chart is looking like it is right now is because what's going on in outside forces that's creating it. So you're not going to accurately predict that. Only thing this is work is if outside forces remain a constant. So even though I teach learn how to read the charts, you still got to cover geopolitics, what's going on in the world, watching other financial markets, what's going on with the stock market, the S&P, what's going on with precious metals. That all matters to this. So don't just, I just got to learn how to read the charts and I can accurately predict. You're going to lose if you do that. All right, next one. U.S. lawmakers ask DOJ to consider criminal charges against Binance and Tether. Now let's go back in a little bit of history. Can you guys remember things that I said 3 and 4 years ago? I said, I don't trust Binance and I don't trust Tether. I also said that I believe that part of what can be a trigger of the next crypto storm that happens will be because of Binance and Tether. I believe that both of those are eventually going to come down, and it is going to send a shockwave, and it will seem like it will kill the crypto market as we know it right now. It won't kill crypto, but it will change it. It will never be the same again. We're going to see these coins, 10,608, they'll be about 500. Exchanges, 905, it'll go down to about 50. This is my own prediction. This is not a guarantee. I just predict this. So the way I build my portfolio, I got to figure out which of these coins will survive the crypto storm. And what will the space look like on the other side? And you can use a case study. Just go back to the internet era in the late 90s. And then the Bitcoin bubble burst. And it kind of seemed like the internet era almost was dead. And then you see what came afterwards. It didn't kill the industry. It just shook all the loose leaves. Ended the Wild Wild West era. So I believe that this will be a trigger for that. Binance and Tether. So let's see. Now we've got the Department of Justice putting an eye on them. 2 U.S. lawmakers have asked the U.S. DOJ to consider criminal charges against Binance and Tether, alleging that the 2 crypto platforms were used to fund Hamas. Here we go. It was just proven that that's not correct. But do these politicians care? No. They lie for a living. All of them do. I believe the CEO of Binance, I'm going to predict his future. Okay? CZ, this is only my opinion, but I'm predicting his future. He's either going to end up in jail or dead by not natural causes. That's his future, in my opinion. Now we'll just sit back and see how that plays out. We urge the Department of Justice to carefully evaluate the extent to which Binance and Tether are providing material support and resources to support terrorism through violations of applicable sanctions laws and the Bank Secrecy Act. Lawmakers concerned about Binance and Tether. The office of Senator Cynthia Lummis, Republican from Wyoming, announced Thursday that the senator from Wyoming and U.S. Representative French Hill, Republican from Arkansas, have sent a letter to U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland urging the Department of Justice to swiftly investigate Binance and Tether. They allege that the two cryptocurrency platforms have been used to fund Hamas and have a history of allowing illegal activity to occur. Really? Then why don't you do an investigation of every bank branch in America? How about that? Lummis is a member of the Senate Banking Committee, while Hill is the chair of the House Financial Services Committee on Digital Assets. Senator Lummis highlighted the need for federal investigators to crack down on bad actors in the crypto asset space after reports surfaced that showed Hamas used crypto assets to fund their war in Israel. This is what we're afraid of. Again, it's not in picking sides, it's just looking at the playing field. You've got one side that has some of the best military equipment in the world, backed by the strongest country in the world, with tanks up the ass, and their enemy is starving people with no running water or electricity, that has AK-47s, rocks and slingshots, and homemade built rockets backed by Iran that's been under sanctions for the last 15 years and has the US's knee on their neck. I'm just saying, it is not even here. The question of this war, is it proportional? The response. Now, nobody can say, if you are an Israeli, your goal is self-preservation, to be able to have the right to live and survive. And when that is threatened, then you will, by all means necessary, do things to protect yourself by any means necessary, because it comes down to you or them. If you're Palestinian and you've been in an apartheid type situation for the last 15 to 20 years, where it seems the world has turned a blind eye to your suffering, where you're living in an open air prison with no hope or chance for advancement, where the other Muslim nations have closed their doors to you, where you're not even able to migrate because they want you to stay exactly where you are because you're being used as a pawn. And you've seen atrocities against you that's never reported in the media year after year after year with no recourse. Who do you complain to? Where's the justice? And your people are fomented into this, we need to be heard, we need to be seen. So therefore they lash out. Is the response proportional? Like I said, when I speak publicly, I try to walk the middle line. Try to. Try. I'm human. You guys, I mean, I will probably lose 70% of y'all if I was running my mouth about how I really feel and what I believe. But that's not the goal of my platform. But anyways, they're all up in arms because they think wrongly that Hamas was using crypto to fund terrorist activities. When it comes to illicit finance, crypto is not the enemy. Bad actors are. I sent a letter asking DOJ to finish its investigation and consider criminal charges against Binance and Tether after reports they served as intermediaries for Hamas and engaged in illicit activities. Okay, so how did they do that? It's because that people in Hamas or these illegal areas had an account with the site? How is that Binance's fault? Or Tether? Oh, well, they should do KYC. There is KYC in the United States. You cannot have a Binance account without going through KYC. So are you attempting to police them in other jurisdictions? United States is not the police of the world. We might think we are. Do we have that right? What is going to the DOJ to investigate Binance? CZ doesn't even live in America. It's very arrogant for America to believe and act the way we do. We write to you in light of shocking reports that unregulated, centralized crypto asset intermediaries based outside the United States have facilitated significant illicit finance activity over the last 2 years, including providing significant terrorism financing for Hamas' malevolent attack. The letter begins, we urge you and the Department of Justice to reach a charging decision on Binance that reflects their level of culpability and expeditiously conclude your investigations into the ongoing illicit activities involving Tether. None of this is actually true. We just showed you 2 articles where this was debunked, but it's not going to stop them. I don't want to read the rest of this. Oh, wait. To that end, we strongly support swift action by the DOJ against Binance and Tether to choke off resources of funding to the terrorists currently targeting Israel. Okay, then cancel the banks as well. What about that? $720 million lost via hacking incidents in the third quarter of 2023. This is where security is important. I'm coming out with a lesson next year all about security. During the third quarter of 2023, there were a total of 117 hacks in which $720 million was stolen via access control breaches and rug pulls, among other security incidents. While the losses, $49.8 million from rug pull incidents, are significantly lower than the $449 million lost via access control or reentrancy, the study data shows rug pulling incidents as the most prevalent form of attack. Human factor, most exposed part of the crypto industry. According to the latest Web3 security report by the blockchain security auditor Hacken, there were a total of 117 hacks in the third quarter of 2023, while the value of funds stolen in this period topped $720 million. For context, there were 131 hacks in the preceding quarter, yet only $327 million was stolen. As noted in the study report, access control breaches were again the most financially damaging attacks, causing $449 million in losses from just 8 incidents. The report added that the category's average losses of tens of millions of dollars per incident again show that the human factor remains the most exposed part of the crypto industry. To stop right there. See, people always think, Brendan, I thought you said that, blockchain can't be hacked and manipulated, but I keep hearing about it's so volatile and people are losing money and they're getting their stuff stolen and hacks against them. Human factor is the reason why. Lack of education on how to protect your assets. Human error in moving things around. Connecting your wallet to an unknown source and then leaving it connected and not realizing that they're stealing your money. Opening up phishing emails. Storing your passwords in the cloud and your private keys. Keeping all your crypto on exchanges where you don't even control the private key. These are all human factors. Another glaring trend is the prevalence of rug pulls, a type of exit scam characterized by a sudden withdrawal of liquidity, often accompanied by changes in tokenomics or the project smart contract. Understanding the anatomy of this scam is crucial because they make up most exploits this year. Despite the relatively low average check crashed by the malicious actors, 638,000, it's one of the simplest scams to prevent. One of the simplest scams to prevent. Projects with poor audit scores. On why cybercriminals still siphon user funds via this tactic, the Hacking report revealed that approximately 15% or 12 out of the 78 examined rug pull incidents had been audited. Furthermore, the report noted that many users often overlook a project's poor audit score. However, such a score may sometimes indicate an even deeper problem. To illustrate, the Hacking report cites the audit findings from Magnet Finance, which unequivocally declared that a deployer could manipulate the token. Unfortunately, many users continued to participate in protocol for almost 3 months after the audit results. As a result, the deployer was able to remove LPs in multiple transactions and more than $5 million was stolen. Meanwhile, the report urges users to analyze token ownership, liquidity conditions, and audit outcomes before investing their funds. Users should also prioritize projects with renounced admin controls and community-led finances, the report added. Should prioritize projects with, that, in other words, decentralized. That's what that means. Decentralized. All right. JP Morgan settles transactions for $1 billion daily using JPM coin. JP Morgan settles transactions for $1 billion. Remember, it wasn't too long ago when Jamie Dimon, oh, crypto's a scam. And now look at this. He's already done $1 billion a day in transactions in his own coin. JP Morgan's coin has reported the cryptocurrency created by the financial giant is being used to settle $1 billion daily. According to statements from JP Morgan's global head of payments, Takis Georgakopoulos, the bank plans to expand on JPM coin's usage in the future. See, now this usage that they have right now is not open to the public. This is for their wealthy clients. So with their wealthy clients, they're still doing $1 billion a day in transaction. In a recent interview with Bloomberg, what's his first name? Takis. Takis said JPM coin gets transacted on a daily basis, mostly in US dollars. But we again intend to continue to expand that. JPM coin allows making transactions denominated in dollars and recently in euros using the Quorum blockchain, a distributed ledger created by the bank. Now understand, that is not like the Bitcoin blockchain. They created their own that they control. So they created the Quorum blockchain in 2016. Stop for a second. Let's look at that date. JP Morgan created the Quorum blockchain in 2016. How long do you think they had to do research and learning before 2016 to create this? Do you think they did this in a month? Do you think they just did it overnight? Or might this have been a couple of years in development? Which, let's say I give them 2 years. We go back to 2014 when they made the decision, y'all see this whole blockchain thing in Bitcoin. 2014, I think this might be a threat to us. We might want to jump in on this, create our own, get ahead of this. I wasn't even in crypto back then. 1 year later, 2017, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of said bank, goes out and publicly bashes Bitcoin and the entire crypto space. Says his daughter's stupid for buying Bitcoin. Said that Bitcoin's going to get people killed. Said that there's nothing backing it. It's not real money. That he will fire anybody in his business who's caught trading with Bitcoin. And then 24 hours later, he buys up the most Bitcoin assets off of a Swedish exchange. 24 hours later. They sue him. He's found guilty. He just pays a fine. And I said back then, I think he knows more about crypto than I do. Follow what they do, not what they say. Announced in 2019 by JP Morgan and beginning to be used commercially in 2020. JP Morgan Coin is one of the few blockchain applications being used by banks to reach this level of adoption, even if the amount pales in comparison to the $10 trillion transacted using JP Morgan's traditional banking solutions. Oh, they're getting there. Takis hinted at a possible application of deposit tokens for retail purposes. Deposit tokens, which JP Morgan considers an evolution of stablecoins, represent a claim on a deposit at a regulated financial institution like a bank. Takis detailed, the next step in that journey is to think about how you can create a more retail version of that so that you can bring that same efficiency to consumers. JP Morgan announced its interest in deposit tokens in February, seeing promise in this tech and profiling it as another implementation for programmable money, explaining that such tokens can become a strong foundation for digital money and an important part of a broader tokenized asset ecosystem. More recently, in September, sources stated the bank was developing a platform that would use deposit token technology to bring quick settlements and payments to its institutional customers. However, the institution would not offer these services until the project is revised and approved by U.S. regulators. Okay, first of all, do you think a bank this size would go through all the trouble of doing this if they weren't confident that there's going to be some form of approval by U.S. regulators? The answer is no. Of course they wouldn't. They are certain that this is going to happen, just like BlackRock. BlackRock is certain things are going to happen. Follow what they do, not what they say. I would say now, by just looking at this, JP Morgan has been knee deep in this for at least 10 years. They created the Onyx company and in a complete whole white paper about it. They're not playing. But to you, to the public, oh, don't get into this crypto stuff. It's a scam. Don't be involved in that. And then you got all the sheep out there. Brandon, why should I listen to you when that billionaire is saying something different? Really? All right. SEC considering 8 to 10 spot Bitcoin ETF applications. So this is further telling me that when they do an approval, they're going to approve multiple spot Bitcoin ETFs at the same time. That would be the fair thing to do. If they don't, the first one I think that they will issue will be BlackRock, even though they weren't the first to register. The SEC is currently considering between 8 and 10 Bitcoin exchange-traded fund applications, according to SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. He insisted that the vast majority of crypto assets likely meet the investment contract test, making them subject to the securities laws. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler said Thursday that the regulator has 8 to 10 spot Bitcoin ETF applications under review. The SEC has not yet approved a spot Bitcoin ETF, even though the agency has greenlighted several ETFs linked to Bitcoin futures contracts. Regarding Bitcoin ETF decisions, the SEC chairman stated, they'll come potentially to the 5-member commission I'm not going to prejudge them, but I don't have anything on timing. They all have various different filing dates. Gensler did not specify the 8 to 10 ETFs. However, based on public records, there are 12 Bitcoin ETF applications pending review at the SEC. Grayscale. This is Grayscale. Yeah, Grayscale. Other applicants include Kathy Wood's ARK Investment Management, BlackRock, Bitwise, Wisdom Tree, Fidelity, Vanek, and Invesco. The securities regulator has delayed all decisions on spot Bitcoin ETFs. 8 applications have the latest possible review dates in the first quarter of next year, and 3 have the latest review dates in the second quarter. The price of Bitcoin soared earlier this week on speculation that BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, is close to launching its Bitcoin ETF. Moreover, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit ordered the SEC earlier this week to reconsider Grayscale Investments' spot Bitcoin ETF. Some analysts, included those at JP Morgan, are expecting the SEC to approve multiple spot Bitcoin ETFs at once. I agree more with that one. They say there is nothing about the crypto asset securities market that suggests that investors and issuers are less deserving for the protections of our securities laws. As I previously said, without prejudging any one asset, you have done that. That's a lie. The vast majority of crypto assets likely meet the investment contract test, making them subject. There's so much wrong in that statement. He's basically profiling. If it's a crypto coin, then it's probably a security in his words. Without looking at the project, without seeing what they're about, I'm just going to label everything a security. Further, it follows that most crypto intermediaries transacting in these crypto asset securities are subject to the securities laws as well. That's why you're losing everything in court. Gensler previously stated that all crypto tokens, excluding Bitcoin, are securities. Now, I can profit off of that statement. See, I don't need to agree with you, but I can profit off of what you're saying, what you do, whether I like it or not. I don't like his stance, but what he just said here leaves open a window of opportunity. What am I talking about? Well, if I'm invested in a business that is building its business specifically on Bitcoin and its blockchain, and we got the head of the SEC claiming that my competition, meaning anything not on Bitcoin, is a security, that's in my benefit. Are you guys understanding that? So yeah, keep on doing that, Gary. Keep on claiming that my competition is all, doing things illegal so that we get more business. All right. South Koreans fascinated with altcoins more than Americans. I had a private meeting with, was it Ghana or Cameroon? I don't remember which one. And I told them that I am more invested in looking for leaders outside of the United States than I am building right here in my own country. Because for several factors. One, Americans are comfortable. Dang, I don't want to use the word lazy. It's not about being lazy. We're not hurting bad enough. We may be inconvenienced. And some of you are like, Brennan, you must be crazy. My life is a piece of shit right now. Yeah, but you live in a land where you can literally change that scenario in the next 60 to 90 days. One thing, Jim Rome was always speaking about this. He said when he would go on his travels, and he would be meeting people in other countries that were looking for, alternative ways of making money that their government wasn't providing. And he came to a conclusion. He was like, how the difference between the people in these other countries and Americans. It's like Americans, like, we don't want it bad enough. It's like, it's one thing to say, I'm broke or I'm poor. It's another to say, I'm broke and poor and I live in America. Because America provides the most amount of opportunity to the average person than any country on the planet. You see, when immigrants come to America, within one generation, they're business owners. They don't fall into the same category as Americans that's born and raised here. We're born and raised here to be part of a slavery type system. Go to school, get good grades, and get a good, safe, secure job that will take care of you for the rest of your life. Knowing that those jobs cannot take care of you, but that's all you've been taught. That's all you know. Whereas foreigners come here, the system is designed not to benefit them in the American system. So they have to think outside of the box. They become business owners. They open up their own shops. They in their communities. They buy and sell from their own people. Money circles in their communities 8 times before it leaves. They hire their own family members. They pull their money together because banks won't give them a loan. So they pull their money together, buy one business for one family, pull their money together, use that money to buy business for another family. And those businesses are hiring everybody in the families. They keep it all together. One generation later, and then they use that money and they send their kids to colleges. And then they become doctors and lawyers and politicians to further advance for their people. The only group that doesn't do that are Americans themselves. We are a consumer-based people, not a producing-based people. We consume. What, 5-6% of the world's population? We consume 40% of the world's products? It's crazy. So overseas, people are hungry. They want it. That's why I look for leaders outside of America. Americans, we're complainers too. When things don't go 100% right, we're the first ones to be crying about it. I am kryptonite to complainers. I can't take it. I can't stand it. I put up with it. I've been reminded coming out of retirement, and I'm back into the direct selling space, which means I need to deal with people again on a one-to-one basis. And it's reminding me on why I went into retirement in the first place. The amount of complaining that I hear. And then what boggles me is when they realize, that, shouldn't you should be as upset as I am. That your issue and your complaint, I need to take it upon me as mine as well. No, I think differently. I only focus on the things that I can control and make the best of it. I make note of the things that I cannot, and I try to figure out how I can work around it. Where most Americans will allow that to paralyze them. When things aren't going the way they think and feel it should, and they can be even right. You're right. It should be going that way, but it doesn't. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to cry and complain and go home and you're not going to do any work and you're going to stay broke? Are you going to keep moving forward? I can't. I mean, I can't stand complainers, especially complainers that don't have a solution. There are things that I have issues with, but if I have an issue, I'm always looking for what's the solution. Not, oh, let me call my sponsor and cry and complain. You will never be financially independent if that's how you operate. And unfortunately, many Americans operate that way. Complain. God dang, I can't take it. All right, then again, get into South Koreans. South Korean crypto traders are more inclined to invest in high-risk, high-reward altcoins than their American counterparts. The share of major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum in the trading volumes on the largest Korean exchange is much smaller than the one registered on the leading U.S. exchange. Majority of South Korean investors are interested in altcoins with potential for high profits, so they're willing to take these risks. I'm not. I used to in the early days, but I don't anymore. I have more of a macro look at the crypto space. I'm just skimming through this because this is not going to tell me anything that's interesting for me more. While there are cryptocurrencies that receive temporary attention, such as Loom Network and Flow, cases like Stacks and eCash continue to receive consistent attention on Korean exchanges. Cases like who? Stacks and eCash. These cases are noteworthy as they are consistently traded in the Korean market, regardless of global trends. Okay. All right, South Korea. Elon Musk, another person who I do not trust. I don't trust him at all. Elon Musk envisions X as an all-encompassing financial platform, embracing every aspect of users' financial lives, from money and securities to eliminating the need for traditional bank accounts. Hell no. He's trying to do what Mark Zuckerberg was trying to do with the Libra coin in Facebook. Hell no. Elon Musk owned X aims to position itself as a central financial hub, encouraging individuals to consider using it as their primary financial solution. No, sir. According to a report by The Verge, during an all-hands meeting on October 26, Musk expressed his vision for transforming the platform into a financial hub with a roadmap to implement new features by the end of 2024. Musk envisions X as an all-encompassing financial platform covering every aspect of users' financial lives, from money and securities to eliminating the need for traditional bank accounts. According to reports, Musk referred to his creation of the PayPal platform during the meeting. Musk co-founded X.com, originally conceived as a comprehensive financial platform, which was subsequently acquired by PayPal. So he's going back to his original mission. I don't even trust PayPal. Yeah, this is I personally, I would stay far away from this. I don't want to read anymore, but this is a hard no for me. I take a pass. Last one up here. How major firms like Mercedes and Lufthansa, say that right, this German word, Lufthansa, are using NFTs. German brands embrace NFTs, exploring new ways to engage with customers and build brand loyalty. For the most part, non-fungible tokens have two primary use cases: buying and selling digital products, digital art, visual fashion items, and building digital communities, exclusive memberships, access to events. These use cases can be easily adopted by brands and companies such as fashion brands selling digital clothes, various companies offering NFT-based club memberships, and musicians holding exclusive concerts for their fans. Traditional German companies are also jumping on the bandwagon, recognizing the potential NFT technology. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Yes, I did promise I was going to do this call with him. Okay, guys, I got to apologize. I got it ended right now. But maybe I'll save this article. So coming up next is I have a VARA presentation tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. A lot is taking place. A lot is happening. Oh, it's Lufthansa, not Lufthansa. All right. Thank you, Gina. Lufthansa. All right, with that, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next on my next tomorrow presentation. And those of you in the inner circle, I will see you on Monday morning. There is no WGC meeting at today at the top of the hour, as well as there is. I will not be doing the training, crypto training, Monday night because I got to do daddy duty with Halloween stuff. All right, let me stop sharing screen. First of all, there we go. All right, so I hope you learned something new. As always, that is the point. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Colorado plays UCLA today, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. So I'll be looking forward to that. With that, take care, everybody. See you later. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.